Let's try something special, a little live walk down the first fairway at the Dick's Open. Hole's a nice starter. Meantime, this is the first. Over there is a tee for the 10th. The 10th is over that way. Yep, we're looking live and it's so nice and quiet. And there is one pro out walking the course somewhere, but I don't know where he went now. He's out walking the back. We are in front. This is an idea of tomorrow when I go with the pro-am groups, and hopefully I will go with the pros for all the rounds on the weekend, or at least some of them, and I will see this view as I am walking. First fairway, and that's the first fairway coming up right now. Somebody just capped the flag. Must be they're getting ready to quiet things down for the night here. So I'll have to get out of here shortly, I'm sure. That's good. I'm glad the feet feel good. Those folks who aren't youngsters anymore are, See, now when you come down number 1 here at Enjoy Golf Course in Endicott, New York, there's a couple of things. Number 1 is it's quite narrow with the trees, Matter of fact, I know an amateur who drove a ball from the tee back there onto the, that is actually the 9th green over that way. It can be done, although that's not the kind of tee shot you want. You want to come straight down this way in this fairway. And it's a beautiful fairway. I mean, just beautiful. We just love to, we love this course. Designed by the Endicott Johnson Shoe Company president and a contractor many years ago, although there have been a lot of modifications because those years were quite a while ago. Once upon a time, Endicott Johnson Shoes had 20,000 employees in Endicott alone. The IBM Corporation had 15,000 people in Endicott, New York. GE used to have several thousand in Johnson City. BAE, which is an offshoot of the old GE, is over here at the old IBM site. They've got some employees still. That's some of the few jobs. The healthiest company in this area is Raymond Corporation, but that's not down here. It's in Greene, New York. And Greene, New York is not named after a golf course. Sorry, but it is a quaint little town that has a great Labor Day celebration for anybody that ever wants to come out that way. You can see firemen's hose fights, people participating in them, which I'd challenge anybody to try and get sprayed with water from a fireman's hose. I mean, it's really something unique to Greene. And I do have some video footage of that out from past years. And Elvis always shows up for Labor Day, but that's beside the point. Now here, in this case, Lady Antebellum is going to be over that way on a stage on 18th hole, which we were over that way a while ago. Now look at this. Get a straight drive. You want to wind up here in the middle, and then hit an approach shot onto the green. And if you're really lucky, hold it from here, which would be a nice eagle, because this is a par 4. But in the meantime, no, when you get down here, you have that water hazard looking at you. In the meantime, over there, we have the public facilities, which are also important. We have thousands of volunteers like myself every year here. And I mean, I'd say at least 1,000 anyway. They treat us well. We keep coming back, and I'm glad they keep coming back, because this area needs this golf tournament, just like any area really would. Upstate New York has lost some LPGA events in the local area here. I am so glad that this is still here. This originally, Dick's Sporting Goods Open, was originally the site of the BC Open when cartoonist Johnny Hart of BC and the Wizard of Id was alive. He's gone now. It's a beautiful course, and the course is probably a little longer and well, it's definitely a little tougher than when it first started, because when Johnny Hart was first here, I don't think these tees were elevated and so forth. There are still a few vestiges of Johnny Hart being here, and tomorrow morning they will have the Christian breakfast, and I can visit the site of that in a little while here. So that's not on a golf course. Breakfast on the golf course, now that would be strange. But at any rate, the Christian breakfast actually started even before the BC Open, because I actually attended one at the German Club in Kirkwood many years ago with Johnny Hart, which was a rare privilege, and something that, there's things like that that you wish you could do now. These things kind of disappear. Johnny Hart's gone, but his spirit lives on. Now, these days we have the Golf Channel. We got these little NBC things this year. NBC, yes. Friday night, that 18th fairway that I did a video of earlier will be full of people to see Lady Antebellum. And along with that, we'll have localized screens out here. And if it's like last year, we'll have a couple of local bands. We've got some interesting local bands here. As a matter of fact, some of them are young, some are older. This area has a rich music heritage, and that's because this area had a lot of immigrants, from Italians to Ukrainians to a lot of the European heritage. As a matter of fact, some of the great food is still around when you look for it. The pierogies, the halupkis, and stuff like that. And this is the kind of diversity that we had, because we had the ethnic neighborhoods and so forth, the kind of diversity that a young man named Rod Sterling grew up in. And Rod Sterling originally grew up here in Binghamton. We are only a half hour or so from Ithaca, which is where Rod Sterling unfortunately spent his last days at a hospital getting heart surgery that did not take, because back when he went for a bypass, and technology those days wasn't what it is today. But even so, he was in very bad shape when he went. So, but anyway, that's another story. In the meantime, I could tell a lot of stories. I've met people here like Bernard Langer, Craig Stadler, Bob Gilder, just to drop a few names. I remember I'd see Lee Trevino here every year back when the BC Open was here, and so many people have passed over this course over the years. Arnold Palmer actually did stop here once, I believe, when it was the old BC Open years ago. And they flew into the small airport next door, which we saw a plane from earlier. Interesting story in itself, because I think he's one of the few pros that ever did that in all the years that the BC Open was going on. Meantime, there's Mark O'Meara on the screen over there. Mark O'Meara, I met him last year. He's a very fine man, and he actually made the cut at the British Open this year. Tom Kite, Larry Nelson, Sandy Lyle. That's some of the lineup that's going to be here. I thought I'd read a few of them. I don't know, I think I'm just going to walk the first fairway, because tomorrow morning I'll be trying to keep up with the Pro-Am. Groups of 4 amateurs and 1 pro as they are playing this. And I don't know, Spillo, McNulty, Thorpe, Brown, Boros, anybody else on there for the Pro-Am AM? Those are some of the people I will be looking at trying to meet up with, because you get here first one first gets. All the names aren't there, but I'll see them all in the morning. I'll be going over here. I'll be reporting in to the scorer's shed. which is over there. Not exactly a glorious place, but we have a PGA official along with local volunteers that runs the scoring every year, and we track strokes. That's the whole job. That's what scoring is. We carry a Palm Pilot, we have a battery pack on, we have a radio on, and we are a contact for emergencies as well as rulings and so forth. It's one of the most interesting volunteer jobs I've ever done. So far I've done a good job. I hope to do a fine job again this year. I'm hoping that everything holds up well. Oh well. Anyway, you have just had a short tour of the live from the Dick's Open. And here at Dick's, of course, we do have some of the native food of the area. The biggest invention here that is very popular is chicken speedies, and they will be available all over the course. Plenty of cold ones to drink. Let's see. And we are here. This is basically the golf club restaurant and the clubhouse when it's a public course. And this is a public course. I've played it. A lot of fun. And a beautiful course to play, mind you. It's longer than most of the courses that are not professional grade around here, but it's a great course. It really is. There we go. Chicken speedy sandwiches is our invention. Pork speedies. They also make them on pork. Now, one of the other popular things around here is Italian sausage and peppers, and chicken speedy salad, which is where they take the speedies and put them on a tossed salad. And Kickstart. Not sure what some of that stuff is. I remember Kickstart before. We'll have to check that out tomorrow. Wonderful. Every once in a while you'll see a little vestige of Johnny Hart. And there's one on the course that I saw right away. Let me find it for you. Meanwhile, this is the first tee. Since we were already down there. I saw a vestige of Johnny Hart here earlier. Where is he hiding? Oh yeah, right there. Johnny Hart actually symbolizes the Enjoy Golf Club, and that is one of the BC dinosaurs. So, let's pull that up for a second. For those of you who read the comic pages, Johnny Hart was a gift to all of us. His humor still lives on. The syndicate that runs, well, I don't know if it's a syndicate. There is a group that still runs, and they are still producing new cartoons. It is not a stagnant one like the Peanuts Charlie Brown one, thinking, different arrangement than when Peanuts and Charles Schultz died. And the original organizers of the tournament have been dead a few years now. People like Charles Alexander, etc. Some of the major sponsors for this, besides Dick's Sporting Goods, which without Dick's, this tournament would not be here. And the original Dick's Sporting Goods store is much smaller than most of their stores. And it actually exists on Court Street in Binghamton, New York. Still, the original store, because when I was a child, the original store was here, but it was not a chain. Let's take a look at the layout of the course. Just a bit. Since we have it right here, why not? Let's see, we are here someplace. I see 18, 10. Okay. 5. Let's see. Macintosh Soundstage. That's probably where Lady Antebellum will be. Now. Alright, where's up? There's one where we were. And from one, 2, 3. 2 is a interesting par 4. 3 is a par 5, I believe. As you can see, 3 is fairly straight, but it's a pretty long hole. 4 is around there too. Everything is here. It's just, and yes, Sticks Open is on Facebook. This is a course that does not have the long history, since it goes back to like the 1930s. When the Johnsons designed this, they designed it as a public course. And thankfully, despite the fact that the PGA and the Seniors Tour have been at this course for a lot of years, it is still a public course. And that's a very, very good thing for this area. It really is. We have some great golf. Alright, here's the hole lengths. 1 is 367, 2 is 379, 3, 554, 4, 175, 5, 565, 6 is 433, 7 is 188, 8 is 553, 9 is 407, 10 is 3621. Then we get to the back 9. Number 10 has water all along the left side and is 356 yards long. Then 11 is 441, 12 is 545, 13 is 442, 3 is 212, 4 is 432, 3, what am I doing? 432 is 15. Alright. 10, 356, 11, 441, 12, 545. What am I getting old? 13, 442, 14, 212, 15, 432, 16, 321, 17, 185, 18, 419. You know, it's funny how you associate numbers. We have the 14th hole is a par 3. It's 212 yards. 212 numbers just by coincidence happens to be the NFL Sunday Ticket channel on satellite television here locally, which is a nice thing to have. So the length of that hole is the same as the DirecTV satellite channel 212. All right. Yeah. Enough about this. And you can see this course has a lot of trees. I mean, just here in the tee area alone.